The Further Adventures Hank the Cowdog, Chapter 4, Part 1. We went ripping down to the corral. Drover in the lead, me along behind. I wasn't used to taking second place, and when we got close enough so I could make out the shape of the pickup, I moved up to my proper place. What about Plato? Is he trembling yet? Drover slowed. No, he's not, Hank. As a matter of fact, are you sure Plato's a bird dog? He's got pointed ears? When I get done with him, he's liable not to have any ears. Big teeth? Not big enough, Drover. It's common knowledge that bird dog teeth are dull. They sure look sharp. Looks are deceiving, son. In this business, you learn to trust your instincts. I reached the pickup, and right away I caught Beulah's scent. A trainload of flowers couldn't have smelled sweeter. There's just something about her. It's hard to explain. You think a guy like me, hard-boiled, tested in combat, just a whisker away from being a weapon, you'd think a guy like me wouldn't respond to the softer things in life. But the scent of Beulah did peculiar things to me. Morning, ma'am, and welcome to the ranch. It's always a pleasure. I stopped and stared at her. It appeared to me that she'd put on a lot of weight, and her coat looked rough as a cob. What's come over you, Beulah? You've changed. You don't look healthy. I mean, her hair looked terrible, as coarse as straw. It was straw. I was talking to a bale of hay, at the end of a pickup bed. I mean, alfalfa hay smells a lot. Well, never mind. I kind of meandered toward the front. That eye problem was causing me entirely too much grief. Drover had to steer me in the right direction. Technically speaking, Drover was second in command. Another way of putting it, he was last in command. Drover was hopping up and down. Hi, Beulah. Gosh, it's good to see you. Well, thank you, Drover. It's good to see you boys again. I put his shoulder into Drover and nudged him away. Excuse me, I'll handle the women if you don't mind. I looked up into her face and my old heart began to pound. Mercy. Those big brown eyes, that silky hair, those nice ears and fine pointed nose. Beulah, before you got here, the day was only beautiful. Now that you're here, it's almost unbearable. Well, isn't that nice? Thank you, Hank. On behalf of the security division, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the ranch. If there's anything we can do to make your stay more comfortable, more interesting, exciting, or more of anything else your heart desires. Hank, what on earth happened to your nose? Oh, just a few routine scars, ma'am. We had a little tussle with a silver monster bird this morning. Nothing to get alarmed about. And your eyes, are they crossed? They sure are, but look at mine, Beulah. Drover hopped back into the conversation. I gave him an elbow. It's a temporary affliction. Now, I heard a growl. Didn't sound like Beulah. Was that you? No, it was my companion. Huh? Speaking of your companion, since you brought the subject up, let me say this. Number one, he ain't exactly welcome. Number two, if he can lie still and keep his yap shut, I'll try to ignore him. Number three, if he tries that growl business again, I'm liable to feed it to him for lunch. Would you believe me? He growled again. How dumb can a bird dog be? Well, I couldn't let it slide, even though I had better things to do than clean Plato's plow. And number four, you might tell your friend to step over here, and we'll get his whipping out of the way. All at once, Drover was there beside me. Hank, be careful. I'll handle it. Plato pushed Beulah aside and leaned over the edge of the pickup. That kind of surprised me. I didn't think he'd take it that far. Anyway, he leaned out and growled again. Turned out that Drover was right. Plato did have sharp teeth, and he did have pointed ears. He'd changed since I saw him last. Drover was hopping up and down, and he whispered in my ear, Hank, I don't think that's Plato. Huh? Is Plato a Doberman pinscher? Let's find out what happens in part 2.